This is a program where we meet face to face. It's a lot of travel. It's also expensive. So we thought, is there an alternative? Can we make these ideas and concepts and projects accessible to anyone? So in 2012, MIT and Harvard founded an online platform which is called edX. And today there are 90 universities that post programs on this edX platform. edX is basically a free online school. So professors take the classes that they teach at MIT, Harvard, and these other universities and bring them on this platform. So you just register and it's free, and you can just take all the materials. I mean, in a way, it's completely changing education. So education used to be you go into a classroom, you have this professor, and you wait for all this wisdom, and then you go home. But with that, it's suddenly accessible to anyone. And we thought this is a great opportunity. Let's do a MOOC. So the classes are called Massive Open Online Classes. Let's do a MOOC on values-based banking. So I was able to secure a grant in 2015. And with this grant, we started this MOOC. So it's called Massive Open Online Course. It's a free course, and we opened registration a week ago. The program starts on April 19th and runs then for 5 weeks. And anyone can use this. The content for this MOOC comes out of the work that the GABV is doing and that other people are doing in this field of values-based banking. And we also have a program at MIT where we can name fellows, and I took the opportunity and worked with a subgroup of the Values Ambassador group. So the faculty is Professor Thompson from MIT, myself, and Lily, who some of you met because she went last year through visiting some of the member banks to capture stories and write case studies. And then we found a group of the Values Ambassadors who help with the content development. And I would like to invite Juan Pablo Scherf.
Thank you, Catherine. I'd like to just to share with you that I'm also a full-time participant of the Leadership Academy. And this came about, well, I'm the only CEO who is participating in that program, and also the only Latin American who is participating in that program. That came about because when they showed me the program, I saw it was great. I mean, I wanted to participate, but they asked me to promote it also with my Latin American colleagues, but nobody signed up for the program. So I decided to join, and I thought, you know, I know now that it was a good choice for me because I'm trying to share, you know, what I learned also in the Leadership Academy with my organization. So it's been a great choice, and I hope, well, next year, whenever the next academy starts, you know, I invite all of you to, you know, to join with different executives from your organizations this program. I'd like to share with you. It's a great thing that led to the other step, which was that I was named a fellow for the MOOC, and that's been very interesting. Thank you, Catherine, for that. Yesterday, Peter Bloom was saying that we should become not only agents of our customers, but also agents for society. And what I found is that the MOOC, at least for Integral, it's a great opportunity for us to feature one of the things that we do as agents of society. And I'm just going to tell you a little story about that. 2 weeks ago, in the Los Angeles Times, there was a headline that said, "It's official, San Salvador is the murder capital of the world." So that's a huge, huge social, you know, issue that we have in El Salvador with young people, you know, gang members killing each other. We had an average of 30 murders per day last year, which is terrible. So what does an organization like us, like Integral, do in El Salvador to, to address this issue? And what we do is we try to choose entrepreneurs who make a difference with the young people. And in this MOOC, we're going to feature an entrepreneur who is located in one of the most difficult municipalities in El Salvador, who's manufacturing brushes, very simple manufacturing process, but it's given, specifically, he has an intention to give young people a job, a productive activity in that, in manufacturing brushes. So this MOOC has given us, at least, Integral, this great opportunity to feature or to say to the world that, that we are agents of society. So thank you very much.
Basically how it works is at the beginning of the week you open a website and you have different materials. One dominant element are different clips, video clips. And we interviewed, for example, some of the people here in the room with wonderful interviews. I mean, Tamara, I don't know where she sits. Oh, here we go. So she spoke about that banks basically decide our future by deciding where the capital flows. Or Peter talked about the diversity in banking that's really needed. Thomas, you had a story when you were just starting your apprenticeship as a banker, when you just started as a banker, and the first thing you learned was with a loan you can destroy a life, and with a loan you can rescue a life. So we really try to pull out stories, ideas, concepts. So each week has stories, has video clips, each week has some intellectual concepts, and each week has also engagement tools where we ask participants, similar to what we are doing actually in the Leadership Academy, go on an embassy walk, interview someone, figure out what's the banking situation where you live. Where do you spend your money on? How is your money related to your values? And I just want to give you, with the permission of Brian, one brief example of a clip like that.
So it's an amazing story. The way City First was founded completely impacts and sets the course for what we do today. So what's unusual about the bank is that it really came out of activism, so to speak, or out of community engagement, in the sense that it was founded by individuals who saw in Washington, D.C. that there were neighborhoods that essentially where capital was not flowing, where there had been large-scale disinvestment, where really the banking community was not interested, and they came together to fashion a solution of how to assist in having capital flow. They chose the banking model, obviously because of the benefits of leverage through deposits, so that you would raise a certain amount of capital and then you could also raise additional funds through deposits and have a larger impact in your lending. What they did, though, was they formed a nonprofit to really be the control shareholder, the founder of the bank, and to this day, that nonprofit is the largest single owner of the bank. It has voting control of the bank, and then they sold shares to other investors who also shared that vision. So what does that mean on the ground? It means at the heart of this for-profit bank in Washington, City First Bank of DC, we really have kind of the history and the essence. I say the nonprofit spirit kind of flows through our veins. So there's really a sense of wanting to and needing to and being put here to really benefit those underlying communities.
You basically have 60 minutes of videos per week. We also will have live sessions that we stream from MIT the 2nd and the 5th week. And I will talk about the hubs later. And Tom reminded me that I'm running out of time. So the 5 weeks, basically each week asked a question. The first question is, what is banking? What's the issue with banking? The second question is, where does your money sleep at night? Which describes values-based banking. And the third week is about money and debt. I don't go into the details. Then the fourth week double clicks on values-based banking and asks, how do you actually balance a mission with profitability? This does not just apply to banking, but to any organization that operates that way. And the last week talks about the future of banking and what kind of banking does the future need. And then what we see in our work with banks that operate that way are two other forms of impact that I just briefly want to point at. One is what we call strategic ecosystem. So it's not just that your whole portfolio is green or social, but that you look for innovators in the field. So if you operate or your goal is to develop a neighborhood, you not just have loans that are social and help people, but you're looking more strategically and trying to identify those who shift the neighborhood. And the fourth level we call intentional ecosystem innovation, where you look, let's say, organic food, where you look at the whole ecosystem and you ask what players are missing. So you become more proactive. And we saw in GABV banks all four of these forms of impact. So what we've started years ago with the Presencing Institute, and we are now doing this in conjunction with these MOOCs, is that we activate those who are watching this. And hubs are basically places where people meet. So watching these clips is one thing, but then we have engagement tools, questions to participants. So people basically use the material to meet and to talk about these questions. Basically, people use the material to meet, to connect, and they basically use this material to engage, to talk, and this is something where then also the Leadership Academy, our HR work, and maybe also the Global Alliance can connect, using this material for engagement and thinking about what we are doing with our work. So that's it, and I'm running out of time. Any short questions, or should we move on?
So are you going to try to organize hubs for this MOOC?
Yes, yeah.
So what would we do if we wanted to do that?
Basically, you sign up for this program, and we programmed another website that sits on the Presencing Institute website, where you can announce that you have a hub, or you can find people who want to join your hub, or you just do it in your own field of people that are, that you know. You just send around an email, everybody just signs up, and then you meet. And we found there are two ways. So there's one group of hubs who meet weekly and go through the 5 weeks. Then there are hubs that meet only when there are live sessions. It's really up to the organizer how to do this. Yeah. And we then provide proposals, how you can engage the hub, so that you can just download.
And can I just add that the GABV will be rolling out the communications and support and promoting the MOOCs in the next month. So you'll know how to connect and how to connect through the hubs and how to participate.
Great. All right, thank you so much, Marcos.